Welcome to Grade 10 Science Earth and Space Lessons for Most Essential Learning Competency 1. This presentation would like to enable Grade 10 students to describe and relate the distribution of active volcanoes, earthquake epicenters, and major mountain belts to plate tectonic theory. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This presentation is for teaching purposes. This presentation could be utilized during the first quarter lesson for Grade 10 Science subject on the first to third week lesson of the most essential learning competencies set by the Department of Education in the Philippines. First guide questions for the students that this presentation would enable them to answer: why is there a volcano? What causes volcanic eruption? How are volcanoes formed? And what is an active volcano? In the previous grade level, it is presumed that the students became familiar with the different types of volcanoes. They were also able to determine the factors that give the distinct conical shapes of volcanoes. It is also presumed that the students already understood how energy can be harnessed from volcanic activities. Volcanoes are just a natural way that the Earth and other planets have of cooling off and releasing internal heat and pressure. Volcanoes erupt because of density and pressure. The lower density of the magma relative to the surrounding rocks causes it to rise, like air bubbles in syrup. It will rise to the surface or to a depth that is determined by the density of the magma and the weight of the rocks above it. As the magma rises, bubbles start to form from the gas dissolved in the magma. The gas bubbles exert tremendous pressure. This pressure helps to bring the magma to the surface and forces it in the air, sometimes to great heights. It's sort of like the bubbles of gas in a bottle of soda. Before you open the soda, you don't see many bubbles because the pressure in the bottle keeps the gas dissolved in the soda. When you open the bottle, the pressure is released and the gas bubbles leave the soda. If you shake up the bottle first, the soda gets pushed out by the bubbles of gas as they rush out. How are volcanoes formed? Volcanoes are formed when magma from within the Earth's upper mantle works its way to the surface. At the surface, it erupts to form lava flows and ash deposits. Over time, as the volcano continues to erupt, it will get bigger and bigger. What is an active volcano? An active volcano is a volcano that has had at least one eruption during the past 10,000 years. An active volcano might be erupting or dormant. An erupting volcano is an active volcano that is having an eruption. A dormant volcano is an active volcano that is not erupting, but supposed to erupt again. How are we going to describe the distribution of active volcanoes? The distribution of volcanoes in geography means where are volcanoes located around the world. In this image of the world, all the small red marks represent a volcano. Study and observe the world map as it shows the location and distribution of Earth's major active volcanoes. Volcanoes are distributed all around the world, mostly along the edges of tectonic plates, although there are intraplate volcanoes that form from mantle hotspots, for example is Hawaii. Now let's talk about earthquake epicenters. For the student's guide questions 2 to be able to answer why is there an earthquake? What is an earthquake epicenter? How are earthquake epicenters located and distributed around the world? Why is there an earthquake? Earthquake is a sudden and violent shaking of the ground, sometimes causing great destruction, as a result of movements within the Earth's crust or volcanic action. Earthquakes are usually caused when rock underground suddenly breaks along a fault. This sudden release of energy causes the seismic waves that make the ground shake. When two blocks of rock or two plates are rubbing against each other, they stick a little. They don't just slide smoothly, the rocks catch on each other. So, what is an earthquake epicenter then? The epicenter of an earthquake is the point on the surface of the Earth directly above the point in the crust where a seismic rupture occurs. This origin point within the crust is called the hypocenter or focus. Though the epicenter is central to the area of effect of an earthquake, it is not necessarily where the strongest shaking is experienced. Historically, the epicenter was believed to be so, but modern seismic measuring equipment has shown in several instances that shaking is more severe in areas several miles away. From this, a debate has emerged over whether earthquakes should be named after the location of their epicenters or the communities they primarily affect. Now, study and observe how are earthquake epicenters located and distributed around the world by looking at the red dots which represent the recorded earthquake and the orange marks for earthquake belt. Observe the red dots in the world map, that will tell us how our earthquake's epicenter located and distributed around the world. If you notice the red dots in this world map, it will tell us the location of earthquake epicenters all over the world. Look at this world map illustration which shows the magnitude AMD depth of world earthquakes that were recorded from 1960 to year 2000. Observe the red dots in the world map, that will tell us how our earthquake's epicenter located and distributed around the world. Earthquakes mostly occur at the edges of the oceanic plates and continental plates. Most earthquakes around the globe populate areas that are near the coastline. This is most evident when you look up the map of the most recent earthquakes in the world. Earthquakes mostly occur at the edges of the oceanic plates and continental plates. Most earthquakes around the globe populate areas that are near the coastline. This is most evident when you look up the map of the most recent earthquakes in the world. If you notice the red dots in this world map, it will tell us the location of earthquake epicenters all over the world. Now let's study about mountain belts. What is a mountain belt? How are mountain belts formed and distributed around the world? A mountain system or mountain belt is a group of mountain ranges with similarity in form, structure, and alignment that have arisen from the same cause, usually an origin. Mountain ranges are formed by a variety of geological processes, but most of the significant ones on Earth are the result of plate tectonics. Most mountains and mountain ranges are parts of mountain belts that have formed where two lithospheric plates have converged and where, in most cases, they continue to converge. In effect, many mountain belts mark the boundaries of lithospheric plates, and these boundaries in turn intersect other such boundaries. Most mountains and mountain ranges are parts of mountain belts that have formed where two lithospheric plates have converged and where, in most cases, they continue to converge. In effect, many mountain belts mark the boundaries of lithospheric plates, and these boundaries in turn intersect other such boundaries. Now, how are we going to describe and relate the distribution of active volcanoes, earthquake epicenters, and major mountain belts to plate tectonic theory? The distribution of active volcanoes, earthquake epicenter, and major mountain belts are mostly found along the plate boundaries. Since the plates are moving slowly, geologic events happen along their boundary. That is why most active volcanoes, earthquake epicenter, and major mountain belts are mostly found along plate boundaries. What is tectonic plates theory? Plate tectonics is the theory that explains the global distribution of geological phenomena. Principally, it refers to the movement and interaction of the Earth's lithosphere. This includes the formation, movement, collision, and destruction of plates and the resulting geological events such as seismicity, volcanism, continental drift, and mountain building. What is tectonic plates theory? Plate tectonics is the theory that explains the global distribution of geological phenomena. Principally, it refers to the movement and interaction of the Earth's lithosphere. This includes the formation, movement, collision, and destruction of plates and the resulting geological events such as seismicity, volcanism, continental drift, and mountain building. Thanks for watching. I hope to see your comments and questions on the comment section below, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe the Hitchhikers TV channel. See you in the next video lessons. God bless everyone and stay safe.